Well, hello everyone. This is Pam Sterling with the Outrageous Joy Raw Food Adventure, and I want to welcome you to my kitchen. Today we are making a very simple and very delicious and very beautiful winter salad. It is a pear, celery, dill Asian salad. It has a little Asian flair to it because we're going to add a little toasted sesame oil to it. So it's one of my favorites, so we're going to dive right in. We're going to start with 2 cups of pears. You can use kind of any pear that you want. This time of year you can get Bartlett's, you can get au jus pears. We're just going to kind of cube these up into our little pieces that we need. And I would say you don't need to make them real small. Just go ahead and slice right through them. And make them, I would say, probably about 1 inch in size in terms of the cubes themselves. I'm just going to throw those in our measuring cup. And one of the things in the winter time is you kind of want that heartiness, and a pear is a little bit, just kind of seems a little bit more hearty, a little more dense. And the same with the celery, and we're going to throw some cashews in this as well. All that gives that kind of a little bit of heaviness to it that kind of helps in the winter time to be more satisfying. Now, I know that I could have all this cut up ahead of time, but one of the things I like to do is just show you sort of live on screen how long this actually takes. So, I'm a big believer in keeping it simple. I always say that if you have a bowl, a blender, and a knife in 15 minutes, you should be able to make an amazing, delicious, gorgeous raw meal. So this is one of those examples that this is very simple to make, doesn't take that long to make, and it's really just a few ingredients. So simplicity, I think, is the key ingredient to really being successful on a raw food diet. Alright, so we're moving through our second pear here. I don't know about you, but I love pears in the wintertime, and I also love to throw these in my smoothies because they kind of thicken it up as well as sweeten it a little bit. So throw in some greens and a pear and maybe a grapefruit, and I like to throw in an English cucumber, and all that makes for a fabulous smoothie as well. So there you go, you just got an extra little bonus recipe thrown in there for a little green smoothie. Alright, we're almost done with our pear. We're going to move on to our celery. Now, one of the things that I love about this particular salad is also the dill in it, because dill just has such a wonderful flavor, and it is very distinctive in this particular dish, and also something that you can find pretty readily in the winter time. So, alright, so here we go. We have our 2 cups of pear. Just going to throw that right in there. Now we're going to add in just a cup of celery. And this, what I like to do is just go ahead and leave them as is. I don't usually cut them any smaller, but I slice through them pretty thinly. So you get those nice kind of little comma-shaped celery. And that makes for a really nice crunch in this salad. One of the things I do like about this salad is it has a lot of crunch to it, and that's really fun. Slice through there. Now, one of the things that, oops, I think that's about a cup actually. I'm going to throw in just a little bit more. Forgot to measure it. Oh well. Throw in just a little bit more. I do a lot of my cooking by eye and by taste and by feel. I don't know if you're like that, but anyway, so basically about a cup of celery. Throw that right in there. And if you're doubling or tripling this recipe, it's real easy. It's just a 2-to-1 ratio between the pear and the celery. So now we're going to throw in just the juice of 1 lime. I usually like to just juice these by hand. This one seems to be a little bit skimpy on the juice, so I pulled out a second lime just in case we needed it. I give it a taste first and then See if we need to add any more. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple tablespoons to taste. I would say start out with a couple tablespoons of dill. Nice, you want to get really nice green, you know, make sure it's green and hasn't gone sort of yellow. Just really fresh dill. And this really is not a dish that would work with dried dill. You really want to use the fresh dill, and this is really what makes this salad so awesome, is that dill. You just want to, say, give it a good chop through. And this is probably more than a couple tablespoons, but that's okay. I kind of like a little extra dill in there. Alright, and then I'm going to throw in a few cashews. I would say a quarter to a half a cup. And I'm just going to give this a light chop through. You don't want to make them real small pieces. In fact, you could even just throw them in whole. But now these are raw cashews that you want to throw in there. And again, just kind of adds to the Asian kind of feel of this particular salad. So I'm just going to throw that whole thing in there. Probably closer to a half a cup right there. So let's go ahead and mix that up a bit. Yeah, this is a great salad. Hopefully you can see that. It's really beautiful and really yummy. So then what we're going to do, we have our acid in there already, which is our lime juice, and then we're just going to add a little bit of, now I do use toasted sesame oil just because the flavor is so great. And this particular brand in the little red can, I highly recommend, because the flavor, I mean, you can tell just by smelling it, it's just fantastic. Now we're using so little that hopefully the raw police won't get mad at me, but if you don't want to use toasted sesame oil, you can just go ahead and look for the cold pressed sesame oil, and it also has a wonderful sesame flavor to it, but I kind of like the toasted flavor myself. So we're just going to add a little, a few dribbles of this. Oops, that was maybe a little bit more than a dribble. And toss that together. I'm going to throw a little salt and pepper in there. A little salt is going to bring out that flavor. Both the celery already is a little bit salty, but it's going to bring the flavors together real nicely. Alright. What we want to do is just serve this nicely. Put this out on our plate here. Yeah, it's beautiful. So there you have it. And depending on, you could probably split that with someone else, or even just eat it for yourself. Eat it yourself just for a whole sort of lunch entree. So there you go. The Pear Celery Dill Asian winter salad. Enjoy it, everybody. Give it a try and let me know what you think. And until next time, be well.